Welcome everyone to this week's video. Today we are on Herp Monday number 23, and we have probably our saddest one that we've done, but definitely an important one, and I hope you enjoy this animal. Today we are going to be talking about the Yangtze giant softshell turtle. Okay, Yangtze giant softshell turtle. It has a bunch of common names: Red River giant softshell turtle, Shanghai giant softshell turtle, speckled giant softshell turtle, Swinhoe's giant softshell turtle. I think it's got a bunch of common names. Scientific name is Raphitis swinhoei. Again, the scientific name Raphitis swinhoei. It is part of the family Trionychidae, which is softshell turtles. So all softshell turtles are in the same family, which would make sense. However, there are only two species in the genus Raphitis. There is Raphitis swinhoei, which is this one, and then there is Raphitis euphraticus. There is a Euphrates giant softshell turtle that looks very similar to this one actually, but obviously one being found in the Euphrates River or in the Tigris rivers, compared to the Yangtze's and I can't remember, the Yellow River, I think, is where these are found. Now this turtle was found only in the eastern and southern China, northern Vietnam, kind of in that area. So that's where it was found. As you can see from this picture, and we have another picture here, it has a very deep head, very large, deep head. You can see this pig-like snout, and then it has very dorsally placed eyes, meaning the eyes are set way up towards the top of the head, very far back. As you can also see, it's got an incredibly thick neck. If you've seen softshell turtles, their neck is much more cylindrical than most of your other turtles that pull their head in. However, this one is abnormally thick, and they can't even really protect themselves too much by pulling it in, because their shell doesn't really cover all that much. Now, as far as color goes, I mean, it kind of looks like you rolled out a piece of green dough. They don't have a lot of color to them. They do have these very interesting vermiculations on the face here, this real pointed snout, but other than that, they're a pretty drab color, not much to them. They do have very heavily webbed fingers and toes. The shell does kind of extend farther back than a lot of other softshell turtles that you might be aware. But overall, you kind of think of a drab olive green color, and it looks like it kind of been rolled out in dough. They cannot walk very well. But the interesting fact about this is the largest freshwater turtle in the world. Actually, it's not even a contest. This is the largest freshwater turtle in the world. Most of them that we've known of, Noah measured a little over, or well over, depending on which specimen, 100 centimeters, which is about 39 inches in length, and about or over 70 centimeters or 28 inches in width. So you can think a little over 3 feet long and 2.5 feet wide if you're an American, or a meter long and just under a meter wide. So this thing is pretty big, and it's very heavy too. It can weigh up to, well, the range for most of them was between 70 and 100 kilograms, which is about 150 to 220 pounds. So it's definitely hefty. However, it is known that these can and will get bigger. There have been much bigger specimens reported in Vietnam, and that is where most of the bigger specimens were reported from. Some of these anecdotally weighed somewhere between 220 and 247 kilograms, which that would be somewhere between 485 and 550 pounds. So well over double what are the ones that we know of heavily. The head can measure over 20 centimeters long, which is about 8 inches, and over 10 centimeters wide, which that's 4 inches. So you can think about that big. It's an enormous head for a turtle. Absolutely enormous head. Now, this is a very, very critically endangered turtle. And we'll get into that in a little more and to explain how endangered these things are. And there are incredible efforts going into looking for more individuals, surveying them, found like that, and that's critically important. These became endangered because of dams, overhunting, and pollution. Historically, these were not actually hunted to be sold on the open market. A lot of times these were hunted just for the meat for the local fishing village. However, once these started getting rare, they actually became much more valuable on the open market. I believe in the early 1990s, the bones of one of these softshell turtles would sell for about $2,000, $2,500 on the black market. So definitely something. It is known that they are pretty susceptible to pollution as well. They have some defects, they'll have skin sores, things like that. And the dams stopped them from being able to go to other populations. So there was some breeding issue. Now, we've been talking about this, and I said that efforts are going into surveying for these individuals. And the best surveyors and the most notarized ones, and the ones that keep the best track of the ones that are left in the world, are actually old fishermen. There's this one fisherman who remembers fishing in the 1930s. Extremely old guy, and he was known as the best Yangtze giant softshell turtle hunter in his village. And he was known to be, that's where you go. Well, now he's known as the guy who constantly is looking out for these. He's constantly looking, constantly going for if someone sees any of them, he reports them. He gets the reports first before he even sends it to like the World Turtle Alliance or anything like that. Now, we say that, and I said all that, and talk about critically endangered. If you notice, I said was found only in eastern and southern China and northern Vietnam. However, we say was because there's only 3 to 4 living individuals that are known to exist. We hope there are more. Everyone should hope that there are more. But there are only 3 to 4 living individuals known that we know of. And there's some contention. We know there's one in China, in the zoo, and we know there are at least 2, possibly 3 in Vietnam, and hopefully there's more than that. They're very hard to find. They sit on the bottom a lot longer than most other turtles. They don't come up for air near as often. And this is kind of your interesting facts that we're going to end the video on. It's a sad fact, but it is the most interesting fact about this. So as I said, there's only 3 to 4 living individuals known. There's 1 in China and there's 2 to 3 in Vietnam. There used to be 2 in China. However, and this was the sad thing, in 2019, the only living female that we knew of died in the zoo. They were trying to breed her with the other Chinese softshell, which was a male. However, the male had actually had mutilated genitalia due to something, so he actually could not deliver the sperm. So they were actually doing artificial insemination, and I won't get into the details, but a softshell's turtle reproductive organs are some of the most complex in the world. They're actually incredible. It's super weird how their reproductive organs are. I don't know how to do it. Scientists can't replicate it right now. They're trying. So the female died after artificial insemination. They were having her produce eggs, but they were all being infertile, meaning that the fertility. So it was really worrisome. Was she even fertile left? But then she died, and honestly, scientists were like, "This is sad. These are going to be the last turtles this will be the last turtle of its species." However, and this is good news, The Vietnamese turtles are in the wild, and they are heavily watched by numerous people. And there's some funding going in to try and do some, but we'll get into that. The Vietnamese turtles are in the wild, and at least one of those, possibly two, is known to be a female. By the way, I just have in my notes, the female of the last breeding pair died in China in April 2019. And as I said, we thought the species was dormant. However, the wild female was discovered in Vietnam in October 22nd, 2020. So that was actually last year. So that's actually incredible. Basically, everyone thought this species was completely done for. It was going to go extinct, no question. However, with this wild female being discovered, that really opens up to being there. There is some political issues, which I really hate, that the politics are actually come into the potential conservation or even saving this species. But China and Vietnam are really they're going back and forth. Vietnam wants them to come here, and I think the consensus is that they're going to take the male and put it there. If not, they're going to take the male's sperm and transport it to Vietnam. They're going to capture the female, but they're going to try and capture her and keep her in a semi-artificial setting, meaning that they are going to try and build a cage. Once they get here, they're going to try and build a very large cage for her, but in the lake that she is actually found, so that she has the same food, she has the same water chemistry, because they're not sure why those eggs were infertile. So there is some contention. It doesn't matter if the male comes or not, because as I said, he has mutilated reproductive organs, so he cannot physically deliver the sperm. However, the artificial insemination projects are still going, and they are continually doing looking into how to potentially do it. But thank you guys so much again. Sorry that this one was probably more of a downer than what we normally do, but thank you guys so much again. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. If you do, I'd really appreciate it, and I hope to see you again. Please, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments, or if you have any suggestions on what you'd like me to do. Thank you guys so much again. Take care of yourselves. Take care of your loved ones.